Welcome one and all, I'm Alexis, aka the Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do my monthly recommendations video for the month of December. And every December they do the same topic, which is your favorite new to you authors of 2017. So these are authors that you read for the first time in 2017. I have 7 authors here, 6 of which have previously published, and the 7th one actually made their debut in 2017. So yeah, so just assume that maybe not all of these, but at least some of these are going to be on my favorite books of the year list, so let's just go ahead and get into it. The first one I'm going to mention feels like an absolute no-brainer, and that is Angie Thomas, of course, the author of The Hate U Give. I love this book. I think this book is incredible. I think what this book represents to so many people is incredible, and I think Angie Thomas was just the perfect voice to do that. This book made me think. This book made me emotional. I fell head over heels in love with the characters in this book, especially the parents in this book. Like, so often we don't get parental figures that we fall in love with, but we did in this book, and I have to credit all of that to Angie Thomas. I mean, this book wouldn't have existed, I don't think, if Angie Thomas wasn't the one to write it, and I just think she did such a knockout stellar job with it. There's a surprising lot of contemporaries on this list. So the rest of these authors I'm going to mention have all previously published works prior to 2017, but I just read them for the first time in 2017. The next one I'm going to mention is Robin Benway, the author of Far From the Tree. This is another book. This is a contemporary that I just felt such an overwhelming emotional connection to each of the 3 main characters. I also really loved the topics discussed in this book and the beautiful way in which Robin Benway addresses those topics. I also just think Robin Benway's writing is really beautiful, and I absolutely adored this novel, and I've heard wonderful things about her other stuff, and given how much I loved this book, I will definitely be checking out more of Robin Benway in the future. The next author I'm going to mention is one I read pretty recently, and that is Leigh Bardugo, the author of The Diviners. The Diviners was my favorite book in October, and I fell in love with this book. This book basically had everything I could have asked for this book to have. It was creepy, but it also has the kids with superpowers trope that I love. But I also just feel like the 1920s setting of this book was so authentic, and the diverse, and I mean diverse, set of characters in this series fit so well, both into their powers and the supernatural element, but also into the setting. And Leigh Bardugo is just really great at crafting this supernatural, eerie, but also original and historical world, and I loved this book, and I'm very, very excited to read more Leigh Bardugo in the future. The next one I'm going to mention is Jenny Han, who is the author of the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. You guys know I was not expecting to love this trilogy as much as I did, but this trilogy has become one of my favorites, and I just love Jenny Han's writing in this series. I love how she made me fall in love with Laura Jean, but she also made me fall in love with Peter and Kitty. I also think Jenny Han is a really unique contemporary writer, both because of her perspective, as we get to see in this one with our main character being Korean American, but there's also just something so cute and genuine about her writing that I think comes across so easily in her characters. And so, like, I love this series, and I'm really excited for anything Jenny Han comes out with in the future. The next one I'm going to mention is a supremely popular author that I just got to for the first time this year, and that is Leigh Bardugo. I did technically read a short story from Leigh Bardugo last year. This is the first full-length novel I've read from Leigh Bardugo, and I don't think that the two compare at all. When Leigh Bardugo is given the chance to write a novel and to create this amazing world that is both familiar and totally different from our world at the exact same time, I also think Leigh Bardugo does a great job creating a unique cast of characters who are, again, uniquely different from one another, but they also fit together so well. Like, I've only read the Shadow and Bone trilogy by her, but I'm so excited to see what she comes out with in the future and to pick up the rest of her backlist. The next author I'm going to mention is actually kind of the same situation, and that is Stephanie Perkins. Again, I had previously read a short story by Stephanie Perkins, but this is the first novel of hers I've picked up, and I really enjoyed Anne and the French Kiss. I know it's not a story that works for everybody, but I found this so hilarious and endearing, and I really liked the characters. They felt incredibly realistic to me, and they felt like teenagers to me as well. But the journey in this story that I went on, of just how emotional it made me, but also how much I laughed and how much I enjoyed myself while reading this, I just cannot wait to pick up more Stephanie Perkins in the future. The next author I'm going to mention is Mackenzie Lee, who's the author of The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Mackenzie Lee's writing style is hilarious, but you can also tell that she is a historian and that she loves history. I think that's something that comes across so strongly in her novel. The characters are witty and lovable. They aren't perfect, but I love watching them grow as people and grow as friends and possibly more. And I love how she frames all of that within the historical setting of this novel. And this was just such an absolute joy for me to read. I had fun every single page. Even when it was discussing harder topics, I still connected to the story so heavily. And I loved this story. I cannot wait for more from Mackenzie Lee in the future because I will definitely be supporting her. Alrighty guys, so those are my top new to me authors of 2017. I would absolutely love to know which authors you guys discovered in 2017 and if they wrote some of your favorite books of the year. I upload videos on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!